Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing great. A week or so ago, I had talked about the girls getting together, and we were going to talk about some woo-woo. Quite the conversation, actually. So I did record it. I'm going to cut it up because it's probably, I don't know, there's probably a lot of non-woo-woo stuff in there you don't need. But it's just a lighthearted get-together, and I'm just going to go ahead and play it, and I hope you enjoy.
All right, don't worry, I can edit. All right, do we want to talk about the book you just read?
Oh, well, what intrigued me to read it is because it's by a medical doctor. So it's very scientific because I am a skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
And she is an internal medicine doctor. It's called My Son in the Afterlife. And her name is, what's her name? Elisa Medhus.
Okay, so what kind of doctor is she?
Internal medicine.
Oh.
So the reason, here's the thing. It came right in front of me. Okay, so to me, I'm supposed to read this book. That's a sign that it popped up. And of course I'm interested because I lost Tyler. And she started talking about, she has four or five kids. She's married. And her 18-year-old, or maybe he was 20, I'm not sure, but struggled with some depression, some bipolar, and just, he was very kind. The way she described him sounded like my son. And so I'm intrigued. So I wanted to read this book, and just her experience when he shot himself and finding him, I was right there. But then he is apparently an enlightened soul. Mm-hmm. And she was an atheist. You don't do stuff like that. She's a scientist. So it must have been years, like, for her to do this and to trust. But anyway, the long story short is she went through a very good medium. And the book is basically written from Eric, who passed away. And there must be a channel you can follow, Eric, and...
So did she channel it herself, or did the medium?
The medium did. So, but it's everything that a mom would want to know about, well, where is he?
Well, you lost the son the same way.
Yes.
Have you thought about getting in touch with that medium?
Well, I haven't gone that far, but I find myself, when I'm listening to it, because I do audio and I have it playing out loud when I'm alone, I find myself saying to Tyler, hey, this is cool. Could we do this? Like, I find myself talking to him, like, do you know this, Eric? He is helping millions and millions of people.
Right.
Because of the channeling that they're doing. And he's explaining everything that you would want to know. All kinds of questions. And I've read lots and lots of books, but this is answering things that I have never really thought about, like the spontaneous combustion we were talking about, and where he went. And Francine, you had brought Tyler in right after he passed.
Right.
And that space, when you started to tell me that, of course, I'm like, oh my gosh, is it that bad? And he talks about the same thing.
Really?
Yes.
So he went through that?
Yes, the same kind of space.
Where he was just feeling lost.
He said he had no pain because he left his body before the bullet hit him. Mm-hmm. But everything she was saying was just so relatable for me, and amazing. I couldn't put it down.
I'm so glad you found that.
So
I'm glad it gives you comfort.
It does. And if there's anybody that lost somebody, he talks about suicide, what happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
quite the same as if you have cancer or something.
It's not the same. And, there's a very big stigma within the Christian world,
Mm-hmm.
purgatory, it isn't like that. But he did sense that, oh, am I going to... But no, everything is love. It's not like that. You do, however, have to go and resolve things. You don't get out of it.
You don't get out of anything.
It's not like, he doesn't recommend doing it. It's not something you go and you get out of because, oh, it's so great on the other side. You still have to deal with your issues.
Well, you know what? I'll look for the book and I'll link it in the video.
Anyway, it's there.
Oh, that's cool. That's
So
cool.
that's
That'll be
all right.
something for people to look forward to.
It is, yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So Jill,
It was turning us
So-
around here.
okay. I think a lot about reincarnation and parallel lives. So I guess, I feel like we definitely are reincarnated because we need to come back and learn our lessons. But the parallel lives in conjunction with reincarnation, I'm a little confused about that, or how you think that relates to everything. So we're living two lives at the same time. Our soul can be two places at once or three.
It is confusing for me.
Another
I mean, I
planet?
think we all do believe in that. Well, if I'm coming back, it's not going to be here. I don't know if that there's going to be anything left to come back to quite honestly, but go somewhere. But I have some reservations. I mean, not about quantum physics, but I do have some reservations on whether the soul splinters, and goes in more than one direction. Like, I believe that we're all branches of the same tree, but I do feel like we keep some of our own identity. How do you feel about it, Margaret?
We think about God as one. If God is one, what else is there? There isn't any other. There is no other thing. There is only the one. So if God is one, what are you made of? You can't be made of anything other than that one. And whatever consciousness we have may be a splinter or a fraction that we are privileged to experience for this period of time. But in fact is just a very small portion, like looking through a spyglass. We get born and we look through a spyglass our whole entire life. But who are all these others with all their own spyglasses? Are they other? Are they different? If there's only one God, if there's only one, then we're only just, I would say, like facets of one crystal. Right? You can shine a light on it. It might look like it's different over here than it is over here. But you can spin it around and it's exactly the same. It's one thing. And I can't help but think that what we think we see is just that reflection. And that I kind of think that when we die, we kind of all of a sudden wake up. Realize we were kind of dreaming. We were just looking through that one little spot. And it's like, oh, here we are. This is, I remember this. This is where I came from. This is where this is all of this. And there is no, I don't think really any I anymore. You had mentioned about something remaining, and
some identity.
I have experiences that would reinforce that belief, but I can't see how.
Do you believe we just all melt together and then we splinter off again and they have different identities? It's like we'll be a different identity on Earth, but I feel like my soul is still going to be my soul.
Remember when you cross over, it feels like from everything I've read that you remember every piece of which you've been. We are all from the same energy, but you'll remember that. And I read something that I never heard before. I always thought, well, what happens? Okay, we die and then we say these people meet us, our loved ones. But what if they've already come back to the earth, like you're saying?
Right.
Can you be in two places at once? And what, it might have been Eric explained this, but it's like when you come here as a reincarnation, some of your energy is still back there.
Yes, yes. I believe
You
that.
can't bring all the energy here. That it's still part of you. So like if someone, okay, say you're reincarnated and you're back here, but then, okay, now somebody in your life dies, but you can still greet them on the other side because part of your energy is still there. You know, you can't bring it all here. This is a very dense place.
Is this
Earth.
just an illusion?
Is this maybe?
Well, yeah, like Margaret said, we wake up from a dream.
Right.
Right.
It's like a, but I think you
this
remember.
part's the dream. Yes.
I think you're
Yeah.
here to learn, though. I
Because you
think,
can learn in that dream.
but you can't.
Lucid dreaming.
This
Yeah.
was a question on the other side. Well, how if we up? Okay, say in whatever you want to call it, heaven or the afterlife, and you all know everything. Well, you can't learn everything if you have all the answers. But to come here in this dense, Earth is very dense, and to go
Earth
one
experiences
another.
time.
It is. And there's no time there. But like for me, like when you do the astral traveling and the vibration, you're changing frequency, so you're on the next level up. So that isn't as dense. So for me to be able to communicate with my son, I need to raise my vibration and he needs to lower his.
Right.
So
we have
that
to
we
meet
can
when
meet.
and I explain that to clients when I
Right.
do readings.
Right.
Is they've got to come, they have to practice just as much as we do
Exactly.
to come down to a certain level, and while we're trying to raise our vibrations.
Yeah.
But that's not really the reincarnation. Like, we know if you come down here from there, and for all intents and purposes as far as space, and we go back up there and we go home, then why can't you do it again? You know?
Right.
But I don't know if I believe it gets so complicated that we have, like, I'm not eating chocolate ice cream in one, because I chose chocolate ice cream, then some other universe I'm eating vanilla. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that is like, if you're a fish, you don't know what water is, right?
Right.
Okay. Here, in this incarnation, this life we experience time. There's a time of conception, a time of death. Everything
linear,
we
yeah.
know has these limits of time.
Right.
Is time a limit that exists in divinity, within the one, within the one? Or is it a construct? It's just something we experience here. If you could stand back like the goldfish and away from the water and not see the time, then all those other pieces have no problem putting together.
Interesting. I see where you're coming from.
So am I
Does that make
eating?
sense? Or
Am I
that's the
eating
rest of it?
vanilla
Yeah.
ice cream somewhere, or
That's
no?
all true. And then I followed two particular physicists, Sean Carroll and Brian Greene, and they have different ideas. One talks about multiverses, which I think is similar to the concept of a parallel universe, and it's the absolutely appropriate scientific theory. It is a theory, but it is discussed among learned people. It's not just a joke. So that does support. I don't know. It does parallel the idea, what you're saying, of parallel lives.
So if we have time on Earth, we have time. So when your time is up, you go. But maybe you didn't finish doing or learning what you needed to learn, so you reincarnate back into another being. Or no, you don't. And you need to continue to, or you could reincarnate somewhere else in another planet, another universe.
Well, we're being called together by a field here. We know our energy isn't limited just to our physical body. There's something else there.
Right.
We know because we can
The
feel
auras,
it.
right? The auras, like,
We are.
So, but we lose that at death, even though we could still touch the body still there.
well, it's part of us. I mean, we're taking that with us.
That energetic field, I have to think, is held together in the living body. And then without it, all those particles of energy have the opportunity to move. Now, if you take a handful of sand and drop it on the ground, some of it's going to stay real close to each other. Maybe you lose the edges. So I don't know. If you pick it back up again, do you get the same handful of sand? I don't know. Can you reincarnate exactly the same, or is it kind of close?
Well,
Hopefully you lose a thing or two along the way.
There you
You mentioned it a little bit earlier about lucid dreaming.
Yes.
And I said kind of like, well, maybe this is the dream. But, if it is, how would you lucid dream? How would you take this and make it have the outcome you want? And not just to wake up tomorrow morning, to wake up, 40 years from now. What if this is a great big lucid dream and we can control it from right here and right now just by where we put our attention?
but I think, Margaret, that sometimes lucid dreaming is like, you're dreaming, you can't always control it.
No, but we can learn to practice.
Yeah,
And we get
right.
better with
Sure,
practice.
sure,
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
But I know we went off topic there.
Well, I
But
don't know. That's
okay.
interesting.
I believe
never
in that.
thought about that.
Definitely believe in that reincarnation. All right, so we'll go on to another topic, but it's your turn.
Oh, we're just
You don't want to. Oh, I thought I already talked a lot. All right, I'll go, and then if there's something you want to add, okay, I'll go. You okay?
Yeah, I just thought I had more water there.
Why don't you go get water? We'll wait.
I will. I'll get more.
Okay. What did I want to talk about, Tracy?
signs.
Sign. I just did this video on the Woo Woo channel about signs from loved ones, but it was just like a 15-minute talk, and it didn't really go into what kind of signs that we get, and I thought maybe we could share signs that we've all gotten. So it's not...
I want you to tell them about what happened
Yeah, one
with
of our...
you and I at our sleepover.
Another
with,
sleepover,
with
yeah.
Tyler's hiking boots.
So Tracy and I were doing readings, and we were already in bed,
Yeah.
and just sort of like, you know how we do, girls.
Hanging out.
Sitting up
Just
in your
hanging
jammies.
out, right. And I said, "You want to wait? We can wait. I can edit it. Go ahead. I'm going to wait for you." Oh,
What?
I know the story. Anyway, so we were just we were close to dozing off.
Yeah,
We were kind of finished.
they were just sitting
And I
there.
said, I just saw like these boots that just crossed the
One
doorway.
boot. You saw one boot.
I think I saw two.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Just like walking, but I couldn't see anything from like the middle of the shin up,
Right.
and I was thinking about in Gettysburg, a lot of times the experiences they'll see soldiers go across the road, but they only see them about that height, so they don't see anything past the middle of the shin. So the boots are,
And I think I
Yeah.
asked you, what does the
You
rest look like?
and I said like they look like brown hiking boots.
No, but
Oh.
I asked you, well, what else? And you told me that you just see light
Yeah, I could see energy,
and how high he was, but you could only see
but I could only physically see
right
the boot
brown boots.
and up to about the shin, which would have been jeans.
Right.
And I asked, did Tyler have a pair of brown hiking boots? And you had said, well, he probably did because he likes
I
to
don't-
hike, but I don't know. So we kind of left it at that. And then you can add to that story.
Well, the next day, then I was talking to my daughter, and I was just saying how these brown boots, and she said, "Mom, don't you remember the picture?" And I'm like, "What picture?" And I guess, before he died, it was, my son and my husband and I were hiking, and Tyler was fascinated and took a picture of just his brown boot and partway up the jeans next to a carving in the rock. And I believe that you were getting a message from me.
I think that was a sign
And-
for you.
Yes, and it said, carved in the rock said, no matter how much I say I love you, it's always more, because that was something Tyler always said. So it's only a picture of the boot and halfway
You
up
showed
the
it to
shin.
me. I know. it
So
was
then I'm like,
crazy.
oh my gosh, and she sent me that picture, so then I sent it to you.
And said, does it look like this?
And then you're like,
It looks
oh my gosh,
exactly like
who
that.
is that? And it was just,
I thought it was like, I didn't think it was Tyler.
it was
you
actually
told me.
his. boot. And then when I showed that to John, his dad, John said, I think they're my boots that he was wearing. Because he was confused. Did I take that? No, you didn't take the picture. It was Tyler took the picture, but it was your boots he was wearing.
Yeah.
That's what you were showing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Is a sign.
Oh, absolutely.
But he was,
and I'm sorry that you didn't remember it like that evening, but at least.
But that's what happens.
Yeah, sometimes it's later.
It is later,
yeah.
and then it makes sense.
Yeah. So I've already told like a few stories on my channel about signs I've gotten, whether it's cardinals or, things. My mother would send me coins. When we were in Italy, actually, anytime like I got lost because I had to go somewhere or be somewhere, and I'm like, anytime anything would go wrong, I would find a white feather at my foot. And I was like, oh, okay. And then when it got fixed or things went back on course, I would find another white feather. And I came to realize in the short 12 days we were there, it was, okay, so the first feather means don't worry, it'll work out. And the second feather is my mother probably taking credit. So like, see, I told you so, feather.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this one time we were on Lido and waiting for a water taxi to go into Venice. And we were going to take a gondola that night. And there was a feather at the little bus stop to get to the dock. And I was like, the bus was pulling up, a little jitney kind of thing. And I was like, quick, you got to find the other feather because I need to know everything's going to work out. And I couldn't find the feather. We get on the bus. No feathers anywhere. And darn if I didn't lose the gondola ticket. So no, that time it wasn't okay. I was like, oh, so we didn't do the gondola. I was like, I'm not spending that kind of money. It's a touristy kind of thing anyway.
Right.
But but my mom seemed to be with us the entire trip. So that was kind of cool. And then throughout time, she's been gone for about 25 plus years, she would go from coins, then the feathers, and then a couple other bizarro things. But so who else wants to share a sign? Go ahead.
Well, my mother passed about 11, well, we're coming up on the anniversary soon in September, 11, 12 years ago. And she was ill. She was elderly. She wasn't the nicest person, but I loved her. She was my mother. And she did live with us briefly, and my husband was her only son. I mean, she had other son-in-law, but he was the son-in-law. And we just told her, I don't look for anything, signs from people. I've been fortunate in my life not to have to ask for signs from people. But we told her before she passed to the other side, when you get there, let us know you're okay. That's what we did. So we were old school 11 years ago and still had a landline. And it was, I would say within the week that she passed, about a week. And the phone rang. And we still had the answering machine, the whole works, caller ID, whatnot. And because she lived there, and we had that phone number for over 35 years, the same phone number, it was our phone number calling us.
Wow. On the caller ID was your number.
It was our number calling us. I went over, my husband was in the kitchen, and I went over and I looked at the phone in the kitchen at the caller ID, and I looked at him and I said, it's us. It's us. It's us. And I looked at him, I said, it's my mother.
Yeah.
I said, we asked for a sign.
Yeah.
And she's calling us to let us know that she made it to the other side.
Aww.
And I've heard that recently that she is struggling on the other side, but that was our sign, and that's what we needed.
You heard that
Wait,
she was
what do you mean?
struggling?
You heard- Well, through a reading that you did for one of my sisters recently.
Okay. I didn't talk to your sister for a long time.
Well, it's not that. It was last year, I believe.
Gloria, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But there was a person with her head down on a table, like they're stuck.
That's usually just a gesture of regret. Because we're going to play Whisper Down the Lane.
Okay.
So,
All right.
you know what
well,
I'm saying?
Yes, I did. I heard it from her, so maybe she didn't get it
Yeah.
exactly what you
Yeah,
said to
most
her.
likely
That's okay.
it's her admitting her ego and what she allowed and how she conducted herself or how she lived her life, which I see quite frequently. And that's the only reason I'm saying this. I'm not trying to backpedal anymore.
No.
But when you said that, that is something that I usually say because I work on symbols with the other side. So a head down is usually meaning regret.
Regret. Well, and
You
that
know.
makes perfect
I'm
sense.
sure she's not stuck because I don't
Okay,
believe
well,
that you
no,
really
you
can
can
be
be
unless
stuck.
you're stuck between worlds or something like a ghost, for lack of a better term. But I doubt your mother would have been. Well, she called you.
Yep, she called me. She let us know.
Yeah.
And that's
she's
what we
working on her
asked for.
stuff.
And, they say the energy, the electricity,
Yeah, it's a good way.
that's the way to communicate.
Yeah.
Electronic devices.
Yes, I didn't answer it, but I remember looking at it and thinking, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I would have had to pick it up.
Well,
Did
you
you
had
not-
a different relationship with your mother.
Did
than
you
I had
pick it
with
up?
mine. I did not. I did not.
Yeah.
I did not.
She didn't leave
because
a message.
No, she did not.
Wouldn't that be wild?
I just wanted to know, let us know, and I was there when she passed, and like I said, within the week, this is what we got. That was only once and done, never again.
That was good.
And
My
that's
mother
beautiful.
called me once. I was at the grocery store after she died, and my phone rang, and her picture was up.
Oh, yeah.
And I, of course, answered it.
Yeah.
But nobody was there. But
Just
I
staying
got
home.
one call also. Her picture. Like,
Yeah, and that's kind of, it's creepy at first, but then you think about,
Well,
okay,
I'm like,
all right, what's
oh.
happening?
Yeah.
no.
What is happening?
Like, crazy, right?
Yeah, it's like,
Thank you, girls, for doing this.
Well, thank you for this.
It was fun. I think that the
We have
viewers will have
great
a
night to
good
look forward
time.
to.
Yay! Yeah,
Let the party begin.
we are slumber partying it now, so we do need to say goodbye because we got things to do. Well, that was our woo-woo for the week. I hope you had a good time. I really like getting together with these girls. I mean, I have other friends, people that I go to lunch with, people that come to my house, keep people that come over for breakfast or something, but I don't know. These girls are pretty special. Definitely keepers. Have a great day. Bye.